Hello, I Dr. Kirti Sahu welcome you all to this learning video on Fourier transform. So far we have seen how to find out Fourier transform, Fourier sine transform and Fourier cosine transform for a function satisfying the conditions. Also we have seen how to evaluate the integrals using Fourier transform. In this video lecture we will discuss the evaluation of integral equation using Fourier transform. So let's first see what is meant by integral equation. So any equation containing the integrals involving unknown function is called integral equation. So let's see how to evaluate integral equation using Fourier transform with the help of this example. Solve the integral and hence evaluate. So here this problem consists of two parts. First I will have to solve this integral equation. It means I have to find out what is the value of f of x which will satisfy this equation. As well as using that we will have to evaluate the value of this particular integral. So let's begin with. So remember one thing, whenever we have the question of evaluation of integrals, so there we have possibility that the given integral which we want to evaluate will take the form either Fourier sine transform or Fourier cosine transform. So let's denote this by g of alpha. Why g of alpha? Because the variable of integration is nothing but x. So when I simplify this integral and apply the limits, so the function so obtained will be a function of alpha. So this will be a function of alpha. Obviously alpha is a parameter. So we have equation 1. Now I want to convert this into a Fourier cosine transform. So I'll have to just do some adjustment. According to definition we want under root of 2 by pi in multiplication with this integral. So let's multiply throughout this equation 1 by under root of 2 by pi. Now what we observe, this is nothing but under root of 2 by pi integral 0 to infinity of f of x cos alpha x dx. This is nothing but Fourier cosine transform with alpha as a parameter. Remember, before this we have considered parameter as s. So that is varying, right? We can denote it by some other notation also. So here the requirement of this problem says that alpha is a parameter. So we have this as Fourier cosine transform of f of x with alpha as a parameter. So using this in equation 1, right, in this expression, so what we have, this is Fourier cosine transform. This is equal to root 2 by pi 1 minus alpha. So we have equation number 2. Now as we wish to evaluate the integral, that is we want to know what is the unknown function f of x. So as we have taken Fourier cosine transform, so now we will take inverse Fourier cosine transform. So according to definition this we have. Now we will substitute Fourier cosine transform of alpha. You can see here its value is non-zero, means this one when alpha lies between 0 to 1. And it takes the value 0 for all other value. So therefore this integral 0 to infinity is broken into two parts. One is 0 to 1, another is 1 to infinity. From 0 to 1, Fourier cosine transform is under root 2 by pi 1 minus alpha. Whereas from integral 1 to infinity, the Fourier cosine transform according to this definition given in equation 2, its value is 0. So second integral vanishes, which I have not mentioned here, right? So remember, you should not get confused that madam has written here the 1. So it's not by default. It's according to definition of this Fourier cosine transform. So this one should note. Now let's evaluate this integral. So I'll take this being a constant, take it the outside. It becomes 2 by pi. So we are left with the integral of this form. Okay. Now how to evaluate this? Remember integration is with respect to alpha. So this is algebraic function of alpha and this is cosine function. So when we have a product of such term functions, we apply successive integration by parts. So 1 minus alpha will be a first function and cos alpha x will be a second function. So let's apply successive integration by parts. So first function as it is, then integration of cos alpha x is sin alpha x by x. minus, then derivative of this will be minus 1, and then integration of again cos sin alpha x is minus cos alpha x upon x. X is already there in the previous term, so we have x square. Now again plus derivative of this first term minus 1 will be 0, so integration is complete. Let's apply the limit. When I will apply upper limit, so what we will get in the first term? 1 minus 1, that is 0. So this term vanishes for upper limit. And when I will put lower limit, so this sign of 0 will be 0. So this first term completely vanishes. Let's have the limit to the second term. Put x is equal to 1, put alpha is equal to 1. Remember, variable of integration is alpha, okay? So I'll have to put in place of alpha as 1. So it is cos x minus cos x upon x square. And for lower limit, it will be cos 0 is 1. So after simplification, we get f of x as 2 by pi. 1 minus cos x by x square. So this is the solution of that integral equation. So the value of f of x which will satisfy given integral equation is 2 by pi 1 minus cos x by x square. So first part is over. Let's move to the second part, that is to evaluate this integral. So what we will do, we will put the value of f of x in the integral equation 1, right, given equation. So we have such type of expression. Let's rearrange, right. So I'll take this 2 by pi on the right hand side. So we have pi by 2. Now what we want sine square t, right. So I'll have to make this no other terms of only term of x square must be there. So that is this one. I don't want this term. So what we will do, we will put alpha is equal to 0. So we have this alpha is equal to 0 falls in this first range. At that time, what is the value of integral? This one. So we have pi by 2, 1 minus 0. So that is what? Pi by 2. So we get this. Now just use the formula trigonometric identity. 1 minus cos theta is 2 sin square theta by 2. Here theta is x by 2. We'll substitute this. Now again rearrange. So let's put x by 2 is equal to t. So dx is equal to 2 dt. So we have such type of simplification. Just simplify and get the result. So what is the value of that integral to be evaluated? That is pi by 2. So in this way, by making use of the results which we have obtained in the previous part, we have got the value of the integral. So let's try to understand it in a better way with the help of few more important examples. So solve the integral. Again this integral is involving this unknown function. So our aim is to obtain this f of x. So let's denote this by g of lambda. Obviously variable of integration is x. So lambda will be a parameter. So this will be a function of lambda. Okay. Now then multiplying throughout by root of 2 by pi. Now this becomes Fourier cosine transform with lambda as a parameter. So I will have this one. Now taking inverse Fourier cosine transform in order to get the f of x, right? That is this solution of integral equation. So what we have, f of x is equal to under root 2 by pi integral 0 to infinity Fourier cosine of f of x cos lambda x. This we know according to this expression. So let's put this. Now is it valid for all the or this entire limit? Yes, because lambda takes the value from all value greater than 0. So it is completely for this entire limit. So we will just substitute what is fc of lambda, e raised to power minus lambda. Okay, under root of 2 by pi. This we have. Now, so simplifying, so this becomes 2 by pi, e raised to power minus lambda cos lambda x dx within the integration. Now just simplify this integral. This we have done many times. We have evaluated such integrals, right, using this formula, right, where alpha is nothing but minus 1 and b is nothing but x. Substitute accordingly. Do this replacement in a better way, right? Apply the limits. So you will have, after simplification, f of x as 1 upon 1 plus x square multiplied with 2 by pi. So this is nothing but the solution of this integral equation. So it's very easy. First convert it in a certain Fourier transform and then immediately take its corresponding inverse Fourier transform. You will get the solution. Okay, let's have another example. Solve the integral. Again, as we find sine of tx, so this will convert it to sine transform. Variable of integration is x. So obviously what will be left? T is a parameter. So I am denoting this by g of t. Okay. Now multiply throughout by root of 2 by pi. This becomes Fourier sine transform. Why sine? Because we have sine tx over here. So this is Fourier sine transform of f of x with t as a parameter. So I'll denote this by fs of t, right? Now, so what is the value of fs of t? So that is nothing but root 2 by pi, 2 by root 2 pi, 0, like this, right? You can see here. Right, I have multiplied this 1 by root 2 pi, 2 by root 2 pi, right? So that's why I am getting this type of expression. Call it as equation 2. Now taking inverse, as we have taken sine transform earlier in the beginning, so now we will take inverse Fourier sine transform. So we have f of x is equal to, just write the formula. Just you have to write the formula with appropriate change in the variable. See, parameter is t. So in our definition, in place of s, what I will write? I will write t. That's all. Right? Substituting this fs of t. Then now this integration is over 0 to infinity. But according to definition, what we have, the range as 0 to 1, 1 to 2 and 2 onwards. So in order to put this fs of t, okay, so we will split the integral 0 to infinity into these 3 parts. What are the 3 parts? 0 to 1, then 1 to 2 and then 2 to infinity. So 0 to 1, what is fs of t? Root 2 by pi sin tx as it is. From 1 to 2, its value is 2 root 2 by pi sin tx as it is. Again from 2 onwards, its value is 0. So 0. Simplify this integration. You will have such type of simplification after applying the limits. Apply limits properly, right? So this is nothing but a required solution of this integral equation, which is nothing but f of x. So I hope you must have understood in a better way how to solve the integral equation using Fourier transform. Let's have one more example. Again, variable of integration is x. So t will be a parameter. So denote this by g of t. Okay, now in place of sine, what we have here? Cos tx. So this will be a cosine transform. Okay, same example but for a cosine transform. Now taking inverse Fourier cosine transform, substituting exactly the similar to the previous example. Only change is that here it is for the cosine transform. Okay, again simplifying, putting the value of this Fourier transform correctly, that is from 0 to 1 it is root 2 by pi, from 1 to 2 it is 2 root 2 by pi, like this. Okay, simplifying and applying the limits. Limits should be placed for t. Okay, so in this way we get the Fourier, the solution of this integral equation. So I hope you must have understood how to solve the integral equation using Fourier transform. So thank you all for watching the video.